Hey guys, happy December 27th. Hopefully each of you had a very Merry Christmas, happy holidays, ate some food, spent some time, put together some gifts, rode your bikes, do whatever you guys do on the holiday season. Take a nap, watch some football, wake up, repeat, all of that stuff. I had such an amazing time. It was just my family and grandma came over and grandma's like, I cooked for over 50 years for everybody and I'd be in the kitchen all day long on my feet. Grandma didn't do anything. Grandma napped. She went outside. She smoked her cigarettes. She hung out, and grandma didn't have to do a thing. And I worked all day long. So shout out to the people out there. And my wife is always the one that does, the cooking, and grandma has in the past. But shout out to everybody that always does all of the cooking because that's not easy. I don't enjoy it as much as I probably should. But when it comes to Italian food, there's some tradition in it. It reminds me of my grandma. It smells like my grandma's house. And so I had an amazing, amazing time. And I'm sure you guys did. I saw all the pictures, matching pajamas. We didn't do that as a kid, but now as an adult, matching pajamas is actually a thing. So hopefully you guys all had an amazing, amazing day. So I'm going to go to somebody right now. I'm going to have this person bring us out on the field in true fast form and true keep it moving fashion. I'm going to go to Blessing. Blessing's here with her red. She's ready to go. She's fired up. So Blessing, I'm going to have you take us out on the field, share your sentiment, share your thoughts, and get this group going for this morning's session. Let's go, Blessing.
Thank you. This morning, I'm waking up and just incredibly grateful. Always waking up with just a heart full of joy and gratitude, but really, what does it mean? And digging deep into making the decisions and the choices and having your actions support them so that every single thing you're doing is in line with what fills you up with joy. So while it's a little quiet, business might be ramping up, others might be napping, you all showed up. And that's all we can do every single day is show up and just show up with a heart full of gratitude. So that's where I am at today. And I'm looking forward to just a day full of joy.
I love it. I love it. So you guys, make sure on Friday, if you do anything, make sure you tune in for the last session of Keep It Moving for 2023. That is a couple guest speakers on. So it's going to be Blessing. Blessing's going to lead us for the session. We have Vernon, who is second year in the business, has blown up his business. Samandy, who has also blown up her business, wasn't able to walk for a certain amount of time, but now she has blown up her business. And then Ophelia, 17 years in the business, and she had her very best year this year, despite challenges, despite market shifts, despite interest rates, we're able to have their best year. So I'm going to have them lead the entire session. They're going to have their own slides. They're going to have their own cadence, but each of them are going to deliver a message to you guys and hopefully leave you with one bit of advice. And so I'm excited to just take a back seat and let you guys do your damn thing and have some fun with it. So Blessing, I can't wait to see what you deliver. Samantha cannot wait to see what you deliver. No pressure at all. Just don't fuck that shit up. I'm very particular about these sessions. And sorry, Ashley, Uncle E cusses a little bit, but that's I'm excited about this week. So, you guys, before we get started, before we talk about the market, before we talk about anything, it is really close to the new year. We're not going to have time to really unpack things as we're on our last session. So I figured I could take a little bit of your time this morning and ask you guys a couple questions because you have to look back at this year and you have to have some truths. You have to live in truth and you have to be real honest with yourself about how you showed up, what you didn't do, what you did do. Give yourself some grace, give yourself some glory, but also have some real conversations with yourself. So as we begin this morning, I have a couple questions that I want you guys to ask yourself. And I was just doing some writing this morning and I wanted you guys to ask a couple questions to yourself. And I'm going to start out with this one. What did you learn about yourself in 2023? What did you learn about yourself in 2023? There's probably some really, really good answers in that. And so what I'd like to do on each of these questions, I'd like a couple people just to get involved. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 or 5 questions that I want to ask you guys. But I want to start there because there was a ton of lessons that we learned here. And if you're able to quantify that and look at yourself and look back it's going to allow you to be like, what did I actually learn about myself? And that could be good, bad, or indifferent, you guys. So let's get three people's hands up for the first question. What did you learn about yourself in 2023? And let's go. Michael Swanson, really good to see you back on here, my man. Good to have you here. Let's hear from you. Let's lead us off. I'm going to go Michael, Blessing, Christina. Let's go.
I learned that I'm resilient. Um, for y'all that's kind of been around, kind of know what I've been going through all year. It's been a shitty 2023, and I'm still kind of pushing. I took a back. I put real estate on the back burner just to deal with family and personal stuff that was going on. And so for a long time I felt like 2023 was a failure. But looking back at everything that I kind of overcame this year, I'm ready to start 2024 off on a good foot. I just found out that I'm resilient and I'm built for this shit. So that felt good to figure out.
Good for you, my man. And you did go through a lot. Personally, I think you lost your pops in 2023. And so
Yep.
that's a lot, my man. And like going into the holidays, like I can only imagine like what you're going through, but still you showed up with a smile on your face because you got a little dude that's looking up to you and saying, you know what, Dad, I'm counting on you. And whether or not he verbalizes it, we know that he's looking up to you and he's counting on you. And so I love the word resilience. The good stuff and great lessons that you learned. Blessing, let's go to you. And then Christina, let's go over to you. And Michael, it's really good to see you, my man. Let's go, Blessing.
I learned that vulnerability is my superpower. And it's something that if I lean into, as scary and as frightening as it is for me to be that raw and exposed, there's so much truth and energy that comes from it that allows me to connect with people in a different way and pull out things that just build relationships in a way that I never ever thought that I could. So leaning into that and embracing it, that's what I'm doing moving forward.
I love that. I love that. You guys, it's something that I took from this book as well. Once again, if you haven't read this book, read this book. But like, what is that unique ability? And only you could be you. And if at any times you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm stuck, or oh my God, this feels weird, or oh my God, this feels contrived, it probably is because it's not you. There's only one thing that you can do, and you can do that right, is be yourself and be yourself authentically 100% of the time, because that comes natural and that feels good, right? And then just feel like, I want to grow. I'm in my zone of genius. So Blessing, I really appreciate you saying that. Christina, let's go over to you. What was one thing you learned about yourself in 2023?
I would say I can't do it all. And that's like been something that I've been like all year. I always want to do it all. You want to, whether it be at home, work, with your partners, and I want to do it all. And I started to find that the more I kept pushing myself in that way, I wasn't getting what was really important done. Like I was procrastinating more. And I was kind of like catching myself with that. So I think for myself, it's like, as much as you want to, I'm a people pleaser. Like you can't do it all. And it's okay if you say, hey, I'll get to this tomorrow. And that's really hard for me. I started to notice it more even with my kids where it's hard. Like kids will call you out and they're like, Mom, get off your phone. We went on vacation camping. When was it? In November. And one of my daughters at lunch had made a comment that was like, Mom, like, can you just not answer the call right now? And it just like, because honestly, it's always like, it's us in sales. You just want to pick it up. So I'm learning to, hey, let me give you a call back in 20 minutes. So I'm trying to teach myself that. That was big something that I learned, I think more towards the end of this year. But I think just being okay with that too.
That's really powerful. I heard a message last week, and I was actually talking to my wife about this 2 nights ago. So I heard a message from a good friend of mine in the business, and he said that for so many years he'd pull into the garage, and as soon as he'd pull into the garage, the kids would come out, and they'd come out of the garage door, and Daddy, and he would always be on the phone. He figured he can get the last couple of minutes of the phone call out, and he would always do this. Right? He would tell them, wait. Daddy's got to finish this call. Until one day, they didn't come out of the garage anymore. Right? They were getting tired of Daddy saying wait. So they just knew they'll wait until he actually comes into the door. And he told himself, he's like, you know what? I just want that small little moment of them being in the garage and me not being on my phone and me just being present. It changed everything and made us so much closer. The other night, it's like sometimes Silas wants us to read him a book at night. And you're tired, it's the end of the night, it's 8:30, the lights are dim in there, hurts your eyes. So I need my glasses when I'm reading. But I'm like, I told my wife, I'm like, she's like, no, you do it. I'm like, no, you do it. She's like, no, you do it. You're more animated. I'm like, there's going to be a time where he doesn't want us to read to him. There's just going to
Yeah,
be a time.
I know it's heartbreaking, and you start to realize that as like time goes by so fast and kids grow so fast, and pretty soon they're not going to want that extra hug when you drop them off at school. And so I think like cherishing those moments.
Yeah, yeah. And so I appreciate that. You guys, a good exercise to do is there's all kinds of things that you're thinking about. We've done this before, and it's called a massive brain dump. So you just write down all the things that are going on in your mind and write those down. And then what are the things that you truly need to focus on, what you can delegate, but then also what is this section here? What is the indecision? There's a lot of things that you're probably thinking about or you wanted to do, but all you're doing is just spinning your wheels on it and it's leading to indecision. Why don't you just remove that from your plate? Be like, that's not something I'm committed to doing, obviously, because I've been dragging my feet on it, and remove that once you do the brain dump. So Blessing, Christina, Michael, I appreciate you guys sharing. Let's go to the next question. What would you do differently? Knowing what you know about your life, about your production, about your fitness, about your lack of production, whatever that looks like for you guys, what would you do differently if you were to go back and say, damn, I would have done these things a little bit differently to give myself different results by the end of the year. But obviously I've learned, I've grown, I've taken some knocks on the chin. But if you were to do some things differently than what you did thus far this year, what would those things be? And I need 3 people to raise their hand on this, people that have not already spoke. What would you do differently? Ashley, let's go. And I need 2 other people in the queue. So go ahead and just raise your hand. If you don't raise your hand, I'll probably just call on you because I want full interaction on this conversation. Let's go, Ashley. Let's go, Samani. Let's go, Demir. Let's go, Ash.
Good morning. If I could do something different, I would have read 10x is easier than 2x a lot earlier this year and leaned into my genius zone and leveraged everything else a year ago because yeah, you could just blow up so fast when you start thinking that clearly. And I would have done that a long time ago if I would have thought to do it, but now I know.
Yeah, I don't know where this book has been my whole life. I actually don't know when the book was written, but I'm with you on that one. I think I would have done that differently as well. Let's go, Samandi. Samandi, what would you have done differently this year?
So this year I would have, well, I'm still gonna buy that 10x book. I just keep forgetting. I have so much crap going on in my life. But if I can do things differently, is I wouldn't book so many appointments in one day. I feel like I didn't realize, especially right now with the kids being on vacation, how much time consuming that is. I mean, yesterday I got out of the gym at 7 and it was like I took a shower at noon and then I went right back to work and I was working till 8 p.m. And it's like, if I can be a little bit different, I would cut off like I said I would. It's 6 p.m. my last appointment because I mean, I had my son dancing in front of me trying to get my attention. And I'm just like, you know what? I know I'm busy on both areas, real estate and credit repair, but I also need to learn how to discipline my schedule to be able to give them the attention that they need. Today I turn in keys and they're like, Mom, when you come back, we're going to Target. Let's bond. Let's go to Target. Let's be there for an hour. I'm for it. I'm going to window shop for an hour and just buy the things that I need. But that's what they want to do, and it's like, if I can start all over again, it's just discipline until that time. I can't do it today because I have to be in Union City by 5, but starting tomorrow, I'm like, after 5:30ish, 6 p.m., I'm not taking any more consultations.
You guys, there's power in that, especially for the people on this call that have children. And even if you don't have children, there's power in telling your consumers like, hey, listen, I'll get back to you. I'm with my kids right now, but I'll get back to you around 8:30 tomorrow morning. And if you can't say that, and if they can't respect that, then they shouldn't be your client. And you probably shouldn't be working with them, right? There's going to be times where you're in an emergency or there's a fire. I get those cases, but you need to have some set hours to let the consumers know that they're not going to walk all over you. And so, Samandi, I appreciate that at a very, very high level. My weekends, that's for the family. My evenings, it's for the family. It's for the gym time, and it's a non-negotiable for me. So I appreciate that sentiment. Damian, let's go to you, big dog. What would you do differently? What would you have done differently?
Good morning. I would have made sure earlier that my sphere knew what I do and everything that I'm about. I would have taken advice from my mentors earlier about making myself present and known as the professional in the lives of my sphere. I also would not have panicked because I call myself a person of faith, but it got real ugly, and it got ugly, and I panicked, and I made some moves that I shouldn't have out of that fear, when I know in my right mind that nothing good comes from moving out of fear. So that was the other thing. And then just not taking my own advice. I've been making these work until it work videos for over a year, damn near 2 years. I went down my timeline. I'm looking at how consistent I was with those, and I just stopped listening to myself. I didn't take my own advice, and I didn't work the right way. Like even down to using Real Scout, I should have been on that shit. I just had a client last week come back to me from 2018, and now they want to buy a house for cash in San Jose. But if I would have been on that all along, who knows what business I might not have missed out on. So yeah, working smarter is what I would have done to sum all that up.
Man, I love that. And, you know, at first it's like, oh, I don't want, you know, to push myself onto my family. No, everyone needs to know that you're here to serve. You're here to help. You're the local expert. You're the one that's going to put them in the best position to win. And I love that. I love that he said the use of Real Scout so he's not missing out. Every single person that you meet, every single person that you have the mildest of conversations about real estate should be in your Real Scout. You should be able to look at their analytics. Well, Ashley said she's not looking until March, but damn, Ashley's looked at 7 homes in the last 3 days. I should at least follow up with her to see what's going on because there's some interest there. So, Damian, I absolutely love that. And I love how you've shown up on video. And listen, he mentioned something about, you know, not making a decision out of panic. You got 2 choices here. You could work every single day with a sense of urgency. I have to do these things. I'm urgent about my schedule. I'm urgent about taking care of shit. Or you could fail not to work urgently, and then you work in a sense of panic. Now, when you work in panic, you're stressed. You make decisions that don't necessarily serve you. And then what happens is that when you're stressed, that affects your body and that affects your health. And that's not good for the people around you. And it's not certainly good for yourself. And so I love that. I love that sentiment. And I love how much you've shown up. So let's continue cruising on, you guys. If there was one word that you're going to attach to 2024, what does that mean? And I want to share something with you that I think Jessica posted earlier. And I know this. So many of you have been through stuff this year. So many of you have hit a emotional wall. I understand this. I understand that sometimes the challenges of this business can feel overwhelming, catastrophic, and all you see is that moment. But I promise you, there's something good on the other end. And Jessica had posted this earlier, and I think it was you, Jessica. Yeah, it was. It said, "May the tears I cried in 2023 water the seeds I'm planting for 2024. Right? That speaks to perseverance. That speaks to resilience. That speaks of our personal resolve that we have for ourselves and for our life and for our businesses. So no, all the shit that you've been through in 2023, you have a choice. I'm either going to learn from that. I'm going to either weather the storm. I'm going to choose to leave this business entirely. That's on your shoulders. Or you guys are going to say, you know, this is going to fuel my success in 2024. I know it's there. It's coming. And watch me. So, Jessica, I appreciated that post at a very high level. So if there was one word that you had to say that this year is going to represent, what is that word for you? Is it resilience? Is it perseverance? Is it, you know, make no excuses? I don't know what it is. Let me hear from 3 people what your word for 2024 is going to be. So, Rakitha, let's hear from you first. And let's go to Ryan Fong. Blessing, I would love to hear from you, but somebody else. Okay, cool. Blessing, I'll come back to you. So let's go Rakitha. Let's go to Ryan. Actually, I'll get all 4 of you. I'll get all 5 of you. Let's go, Rakitha.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
So, my word is going to be ascension. I have high expectations, and so this year I'm going to be really intentional about going higher, going to the next level. I'm not going to compare my next level to anybody else's, so it's going to be an ascension on my own accord. So I have to do more, and that's the word I'm rocking with.
Wow, I love that. I absolutely love that. Let's go to Jessica. Jessica, let's hear from you, and then I'll go to Ryan, Otis, and then Blessing. Let's go, Jessica.
Good morning, everyone. For me, my word is consistency. So I've been posting on Instagram every day actually for the past 2 weeks, I think. So I want to keep that going into the new year, and I want to be more consistent with my open houses. So I hosted 2 last weekend, and I'm looking for 2 more to host this upcoming weekend. So I just really want to be consistent with social media and open houses.
I love it because here's the thing, Jessica. Think about your business, and there's people that are already in flight on this call, meaning that they are exceeding that 10, 15, 20 deal a year. And I think that that's where we all want to be, 20 deals plus every single year. What I think about this is that right now you're in a flight simulator. The flight simulator is showing you all the things, right? It's like, oh, pull this lever. Here's this gauge. Here's this, all these things, because you're literally right about to take off. And so I've been thinking about this a lot, to do a boot camp style training for the company, but I'm going to call it simulator, like agent simulator. It means that we're going to go into an open house, and you guys are going to learn how to master that open house, learn what to say, how to do the buyer's presentation, how to do a listing presentation. What do I say when I'm actually door knocking, to where when your flight is finally in air, like you're calm, you're up there, wonderful. I'm going to press this gauge. All right, my wheels come down. I'm about to touch down. My nose is up. Like everything is precision, right? Because there's probably things right now where you're still like, I don't feel too confident there. I think by doing a simulator, there's no room for second guessing, because your confidence level is so high because you've been through that so many times. Because when I look back at some of our old school boot campers, and there's some of them on the call, I think what boot camp is it was an agent simulator, and it allowed them to do the things, say the things, be in the moment of the process. And then what happened is that they felt even more confident. So Jessica, I really, really love what you're doing, how you're showing up, how consistency is important to you. I think that you're somebody, and a lot of people on this call will benefit from the agent simulator. So I'm actually working on that now. So more information to come. I think I'm going to launch that January 15th for 2 months, because I got a couple other things launching January 15th, but I'm with you. And I love that confidence is or consistency is your word.
Thank you.
Love it, Jessica. And I love that post earlier. Otis, let's hear from you.
I want to say top 3. One of my goals this year was to do 15 to 20 deals, which we got, to make top producers. So hitting those goals, but it's just not enough for me. Like, I want to implement myself on this team as one of the top agents. So that's where I'm pushing for. I want to be top 3. I want to say, hey, in the new, that's my thing. Like, I want to start putting myself out there a lot more than I had this year. Just working on a bunch of online leads and referrals. So this year I'm just gonna go all in. I'm gonna do everything that we're supposed to do, whether it's open houses, door knocking, and everything. It might be a little while, or I might just be out there on my scooter pulling around. But at the end of the day, I know what it takes, and I half-assed this year. And if I half-assed this year and had a year I can only imagine if I really, really, really went full throttle where I could be. So that's where I'm at. Top five ain't it. Top 3 has to be it.
All right. So let me make sure I'm clear on the word. Is the word all in, or the words are all in? Like, if you're to choose a word for 2024.
All in. All in.
Okay, cool. I love that. I love that. I love that. Let's go to Ryan Fong. Let's hear from you, big dog. And I appreciate you, Otis. And hopefully your foot is getting a little bit better. Ryan, let's hear from you.
So I think mine is growth. I feel like I have so many seeds planted right now that they're just waiting to come to fruition in the next year. So yeah, I mean, in the new year, waiting for those to come to fruition and keep planting more seeds for the next year.
Beautiful. I love it, my man. And I don't know how you're doing this where you're invisible and then you appear in your video at the start of your video. I'd love to learn about that, because I think it's dope. I think it's really cool editing. So
Thank you.
I'd love to hear more about that offline. Let's go to Blessing. Blessing, if there was a word for you in 2024, what would it be?
My word would be determination. It breaks down to a mantra of I can and I will. And it's a commitment to myself to show up and finish what I started. So my word is determination.
Wow. It's so crazy you said that, because I wrote here in my notes, I said, you're either going to be sitting there in regret when, the new year comes around, be like, oh man, I could have done all these things, and I should have done all of these things. And I have a little bit of regret going into 2024 about everything I could have done, right? You guys could have made, more money than you've ever made in your life, but that rests on your shoulders. Or you're going to sit there and look at yourself and say, wow, look at all the things that I was able to accomplish, right? If you've had excuses, then that's, once again, that's on you. But if you have excuses, then it means that you're just not clear. You don't have clarity. You need to focus on the things that you're truly wanting in this business and in your life. And that's why I always go back to clarity, always go back to clarity. And so when I ask you guys this question, I want you to sit with it. And I want you guys to don't answer it now. And I want you to sit with it for a couple of days. How bad do you want it? Like when you go into 2024, like, is it burning within you? Like for us to be number one in all of VXP next year, like, right? We haven't even closed out the year. We still got 3-4 days. Like I'm already thinking about the end of next year when all the press releases are coming out, when all the Riz media is coming out, when all the Real Trends reports are coming out. Number one, right? I've built this coaching company with Raquel and we've become, the prominent player for all coaching platforms in the United States of America and beyond. Like when I look at my year ahead, like I want it so bad that I can feel it. I can feel it and I can see it, like how it's impacted my life, what we've been able to do, where I've been able to go, what stages I've been able to speak on, the lives that I've been able to touch, the lives that have impacted my life. I've already seen it. So I want you guys to ask yourself, how bad do you want it? And how are people going to know? How are they going to see that? They're going to see it because you're consistent, you show up, you're on video, you're raising your hand, you're at the trainings, you're knocking on the doors, you're doing the open houses, you're going to the brokers meetings, you're going to a brokers tour, you're going to every single local event that you can, you're networking, you're shaking hands, you're having cocktails, you're eating hors d'oeuvres, you're out there, you're joining ARIA, you're joining the YPN, you're out there and you're making sure that people see how bad you truly, truly want this game. Or you're going to go into 2024, not show up, not be on video, not be out there like, oh, I should have done that. I should have done that. And then just sit there and continuously reduce your esteem, reduce your esteem, reduce your esteem because you're selling yourself that you are the person that doesn't follow through on all the things that they said they wanted for this life in their business. You guys, there's 9 to 5 jobs out there. And there's 9 to 5 jobs out there that you guys can go and apply for. But good luck trying to find a job that you're going to find an opportunity to make endless amounts of money, that's going to be able to amplify your voice and express you, the person that you truly are. And good luck trying to find something that doesn't put you in a box. To me, that sounds like a death sentence. That doesn't sound happy to me. So what I want for you guys is I want you guys to dig deep in 2024 and ask yourself that question. How bad do you want it? And if you don't want it that bad, it's all good. It's okay. This game is not for everybody. That's a tough gig. But you have to ask yourself, how bad do you want it? And how am I going to show up in 2024? So you guys, I want to share that sentiment with you. Otis, is that a new hand or is that an old hand? Old hand? Okay. All right, cool. That's my thoughts and that's my sentiment. So I want to go around the room right now and I hear from a couple people. We have our lending partners on the call. You guys always provide us such great information about where we're seeing the market go, what's happening, trends, patterns, things like that. So would love to hear from Ashley, from Stephanie, from Christina, from Jeff, and anybody else on the call that wants to give me a high-level update about what they're seeing in the market right now, because this is how we're truly, truly going to learn from each other in various markets. So anybody would like to go first? Christina, Jeff, Ashley, Stephanie? Let's go,
Yeah.
Ash.
Oh, go ahead, Ashley.
Okay, there are 4 reports that measure appreciation on home values that just came out. All 4 of them disappointed all those people that were saying, no, the market's going to crash. So you can go back to all your friends and say, oh, really? Well, in 2023, we have 7% appreciation across the board. All 4 reports that measured it measured appreciation up 7%. As far as what I'm seeing with offers being accepted, it's kind of a mixed bag. I'm seeing like $30,000 credits in some areas, and I'm seeing a lot of competition where you don't even want to ask for a credit. We went non-contingent on one offer and got it accepted. So that means you really have to dive deep into the MLS and do your research and call the listing agent and really feel out what that particular home's going for, because right now it's a mixed bag. I promise that won't last long because The Fed is they projected that they are going to cut rates 3 times. So as that happens, more and more people are going to get out, and then it's going to be very clear where we are. But right now, there's still some opportunity to get in there and get credits in some areas, but don't take that for granted because it's not all areas for sure.
Ashley, I love this, and I had a couple questions, and I'm sure it's on a lot of people's minds right now. In regards to ADUs, right? With this new ordinance that has passed, allowing people to build ADUs to, now sell that separately as a condo, right? Are we seeing more applications for HELOCs, and is that HELOC going towards the building of an ADU? First, that's the first question. Second question is, how are we comping this? Right? When say you're in a market that doesn't really have many ADUs, like how are we comping that? I don't know if you guys can answer that, but that's a 2-part question there. Like maybe you guys can shed some light on that for me.
Personally, I've seen a lot of people in the last month or two, many more people have been asking me about home equities than ever before. As far as if they're going to ADUs, I haven't seen it myself. Christina, you might be able to speak on that. I haven't been able to see it, but I have heard a lot of people talking about it. So I do think that it's a wave of something that's coming.
And so when we're comping it as more and more are built, and say there's no other ADUs, are we comping it based on the condos that are closest to that area? Is that how we're going to be comping it?
I haven't seen one yet. Where's Dominique when we need her?
Right?
Like the value? Are you saying like the value?
Totally. Yeah. Like if somebody was now selling not their primary, but their ADU as a condo, and there's no other ADUs in the area, are we pulling condos that fit that because that falls within the condo realm?
Ooh, good question. And actually, I know Dominique and I are going to be doing something about ADUs coming up. So you guys keep an eye on that. I know what she always says is like, she just goes for what is similar and whatever like in that type of how it was created and going even further out. So I think what she really talked about in the last one was you don't have to just go that 1 mile radius. I think we're going to be going further out in that radius for comparable comps.
Okay. All right, cool. Kind of give us your vantage point. Like, what are you seeing right now? I know Fed has projected 2 rate cuts. I hear people saying, "Oh, we're probably going to get like mid 5s, low 5s," which is all speculation. We don't actually know. But like, talk to us. What are you seeing from your vantage point?
I would say 5s because we're already in the low 6s in some cases. So I don't see why we wouldn't see ourselves in the 5s once we start to hit that first cut. Another thing too is really leveraging with the rates that have gone down. You're looking at, in some cases, increasing your buying power by almost 50K. So think of it like this: 50K that's sometimes $300 to $500 a month difference. So if we can boost your approval by 50K, as you guys know, that doesn't mean you're going to, oh, hey, instead of 550, I'm now approved for 600. No, you're going to still be looking at those 550 to 575, but now you have that leverage to be in a multiple offer situation. Where before, where you were like, oh, and we all have done this, where they come, your realtor goes to the lender and they're like, hey, can you squeeze out an extra 10? And honestly, a lot of times we can't. Like, we're already barely making that price we gave you. So now it's okay, all right, if I'm in it on multiple offer situation, I have that leverage where before I didn't because rates have dropped. So definitely go to whoever your buyer is pre-approved with, go to your lender, be like, okay, with the rate drop, how much now are we working with? Take advantage of that opportunity because a lot of buyers right now are coming to us and saying, oh my gosh, I know rates went down. I don't want to be in that bidding war, because a lot of people who are coming back, they got exhausted from that multiple offers and they were tired of just losing and then they took a break. So now people are like, oh no, I want to get in now before that happens again. So I would highly recommend going back into your CRM, reaching out to all these, old clients that may have ghosted you, because now if you were to tell them, hey, this is what's going on, like get in while, before it gets too hot, you may be able to bring some people back.
I love this. So just so I understand it and unpack this. So Not saying to use that 50K to go and search for a home at your max, rather use it so you can negotiate if you have to go up 10, 15, 20,000 if it's a multiple offer scenario.
Yeah, exactly. Because especially in that price point, there are a lot of multiple offers going on right now. Or you write an offer and then they already accepted another one. So I've been seeing that with some of my buyers. So definitely use that to leverage. Now you have a little bit more negotiation room.
I love it. I love it. Good stuff. Stephanie, let's hear from you. Took yourself off of mute. Thank you, Christina.
Yeah, just to add to that, with the rates coming down, it's becoming more affordable for everybody. And in some cases, we can increase the purchase power. So I keep telling everybody right now we're in this sweet little window where there's still a window of opportunity for you to get in and be able to negotiate some seller credits. But that window is closing, right? With more, we have millions of Americans sitting on the sidelines right now. And with the rates coming down, more and more people are entering the playing field, right? So right now is a really good time to get in and try to negotiate some closing costs. You have room for negotiation. Like that window is going to come to an end very soon, right? And people are going to get priced out. And I am a little worried about, your average middle class borrower and the low income, because as rates come down, the prices are going to go up, right? So a lot of people are going to get priced out in that way. So we are seeing, I'm getting a lot of phone calls, people haven't talked to in months. They're coming out the woodwork, asking, everything's all over the news, so it is a good time to get back in and try to see what we can do, rerun numbers for people. Someone you've talked to a year ago, they might qualify for something more now, right?
Wow, I love this. And Ashley, go to you. And really quick, before I go to Ashley, I think that you hit it right on. 2023 represented the blue collar market. That's what I've been calling it. In the end of 2022, 2021, that was all cash. That was really like I would say affluent buyers and people that were blue collar workers that had saved so much they didn't stand a chance. People were liquidating all of their crypto. They were liquidating their Robinhood stocks that they got from Meta. And they were saying, we have all this cash on hand. They have parents that were helping them with money, down payments, all these things were happening. And then that started to go away. And then you started to say, okay, now it's a little bit easier for the average everyday Joe to be able to get into the market. And so really appreciate that sentiment. Ashley, you shared something. Let's go back over to you. And Stephanie, powerful. Thank you.
So first, I was just going to say, yesterday I got a contract accepted. It was $879 in $1 million neighborhood, and we got $30,000 in credits on top of that. We used a 2-1 buy down and saved the client $1,000 year one and I think it's $700 year two. And so those things are still happening out there. Again, do your research, not on every property, but in that $1 million area to get $879 and $30,000 off to use towards a 2-1 buy down, they ended up year one with 5.5% interest rate now. So it might be better now, like even interest rate wise, than it might be in Q1. Because if you can get a 2-1 buy down now, but you can't get a 2-1 buy down in Q1, you might be better off monthly payment wise now versus waiting until interest rates drop, because we can always already take advantage of it now. As far as what I shared, somebody had asked me if I could share the 4 reports that came out showing 7% pace. So that is a good social share if you wanted to put it on your social media and tell all your friends that we're telling you the market's going to crash, that this year's not their year.
And you put that down in the chat.
Yeah, I put it in the chat.
All right, cool. And I think it's really, really important you guys hear this messaging that if people are waiting and then interest rates go down a little bit, but then the values go up because there's so many more people vying for a home, like they missed that opportunity. They missed that opportunity. And now they're in a position where they can't afford and they can't compete. And it's going to change the level. It's going to level the playing field. So really appreciate you sharing that. Jeff, let's hear from you, big dog. What are some thoughts? What's there some sentiment on your end that might be a different vantage point or similar to what the ladies just shared?
Sure. Actually, it's been interesting. I was looking at the market this morning, and we are trading in such a tight range. So I don't know exactly where, and this plays into what they're saying in terms of taking advantage of it now. I mean, at some point we're going to break out of this tight range, but for the last 2 weeks, honestly, I think rates have been, 6.6 to 6.65, somewhere in that, just barely moving, which is a good thing. There's been a lot of news in the market that could have moved it one way or the other. And with the Fed meeting earlier this month, Jerome Powell talking about the cuts, a lot of other Fed members came out and talked about trying to backtrack a little bit, like, whoa, let's not get ahead of ourselves. And it's kind of worked because, again, we've been trading in this really tight range. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in January. Of course, the jobs report for December that's going to come out in early January, some of the more inflation reports. Everything is trending lower, but it's been interesting with the last 2 weeks just looking. We're not seeing a lot of dramatic movement. So I don't think, just my take on it, first quarter, I don't think we're going to see it break way lower. I mean, I think we're going to stay in this mid to high 6 range for a while. So that window that Stephanie was talking about, hopefully that kind of stays open for a while, where we're not, I don't want to say we don't want lower rates. We absolutely do. But the problem that we experienced 2 years ago, and I think all of you, was that rates went up. We didn't have a problem with rates going up. They went up too fast. I mean, we went from 3% to 6%, like in a quarter, like overnight. And 6% rates are not bad, but just how quickly we got them. So I'm kind of hoping we don't make the same mistake going the other way, where rates just go down too quick. And then, just messes up the market. So I'm fine. Let's hang out where we're at, maybe trend lower, nothing moves in a straight line. And, hopefully that's what we'll see play out over the first quarter, and not get too far ahead of ourselves, talking about rate cuts and 5% interest rates. So.
Wow, you guys, really powerful. And I appreciate everyone, spoke similarly, but you guys all had your different vantage points and you articulated it differently. Ryan, I want to hear from you, Ryan Fong. When you're talking to consumers right now, based on even some of the stuff that you just heard from the lenders, how can you frame this into some of your conversations that you're having with the consumers, particularly ones that are wanting to wait?
Yeah, so for the ones wanting to wait, I have them in Real Scout too, and I've been trying to follow up with them, basically asking them how the rate cut could impact them, and kind of telling them what the benefits are, that they could improve their purchase power, and that their monthly payment could be lower, or they could also negotiate for a little bit more now that they have that extra amount.
Beautiful, beautiful. Jessica, let's hear from you based on what you heard from our lending partners, and the conversations you're having with your consumers right now. Talk to me a little bit about the dialogue that you're having with your consumers.
Yeah, so similar to Ryan, just letting them know that when rates do come down, the prices of homes are going to increase and that there's a window of opportunity right now. I have been having this conversation with a few people. However, they're still not ready. They still want to wait. So that's been a challenge for me. I'm talking to them, letting them know, educating them, but they're still kind of iffy about it, or still need to work on some stuff, like paying off debt has been something that I've heard a lot actually. And yeah, so that's something that I'm actually struggling with right now. Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you sharing. Crispy, let's hear from you. When you're hearing everything that our lender partners are talking about, when you're hearing about the state of the market, obviously you've had a really good year. You've been in this game for, longer than everybody probably on this call, maybe a couple handful. But Crispy, let's hear from you, my man. What are some things that you're talking to with your consumers about right now, state of the market, reality of the market? Let's hear from you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you all had a happy holidays.
You too, man.
I'm just letting everybody know and just giving them an urgency to take action before these rate cuts. Like everybody else is, but it's up to us to really get them and push them. And I had a talk with Sophia the other day, and I was like, you got to put fire on their ass. They're just like going with the motions, and if you don't show them that it's actually a possibility, right now with rates going down a couple percent in the last 30, 45 days or whatnot, it was at a little over 8 not too long ago. And they could raise their purchase price by 50 grand or more and save $300 or $400 a month on their mortgage. So I just let people know that now's the time for the projected rate cuts. They could choose to refinance later, but now's the time to acquire because we don't have a ton of listings out there still. And if the prices went up this year 7%, when we had 8% rates, how much are going to go up when the rates are in the fives? So just gotta just let them know and have them ponder in that thought for a minute, and then at the same time, just bring them out there. Force them, just tell them, let's go check out some new home builds, new construction, and just send them listings and just engage and just explain to them that you're coming from a place where you're trying to empower your clients, and let them know what's really going on, because a lot of agents aren't pushing that message right now because of whatever the reason is. A lot of people are struggling, but you can't get out of the struggle unless you get empowered. So just let them know that, and just push that cause and show them that you're really looking after their financial well-being by helping them to time the market in the best way possible with today's economic conditions.
Yeah, good stuff. I love this. And I want to ask you guys a quick question. So Christina, if we were to go back December, November, let's go back 3-4 months. What were interest rates then?
Oh yeah, we were in some, depending on the loan amount, we were in the 8s.
Okay, what's today's interest rate?
Oh, today you're looking at, if it's high balance, you're probably in the 7s, and in other cases in FHA in the 6s.
Okay. So a couple different scenarios here. Here's what I would do, you guys. I would audit. I would audit your Real Scout or people that are in your follow-up boss. Obviously, they should be in both. I'd go back 3 months and I would just audit a list and I'd go back. Okay, cool. Tom's been looking, right? If at the interest rate 2 months ago, 3 months ago was at a 7.5, 7.85, whatever that rate was, based on what the reality could be right now, and then what that difference would be. Obviously, if his FICO score hasn't changed, and this is obviously a generalization, but if nothing has changed and their interest rate goes down to 6.25, 6.5, whatever that is, what does that make in difference in payment? And I would share that with them. Hey, Tom, I did a little bit of research and I'm doing this for all of my consumers that are actively looking for homes in the Bay Area. I did some research and it shows that based on this, now obviously subject to change based on our analysis, but that means that you're potentially saving anywhere from $500 to $800 every single month on your mortgage payment. Knowing that, I feel that it's your best time to continue looking or to get into the market, strike while out, whatever that messaging is. But I would audit a list of 10, 15, 20 people that you have in your Real Scout. Sit down with your lender and be like, yo, let's look through some of this. Let's run some numbers. What are some opportunities or some options that these consumers would have? And now you have something of value to call your consumers about versus strike while the iron's hot, inventory's low, all those things. We say that's surface level, but like do an audit. And then now you have your call list. Maybe that's 10 people, 20 people, 50 people. I don't care what it is. But now you say, hey, here's an idea of what you could potentially save monthly, and think how that's going to give you guys more opportunity to get into a home right now. $340 a month. That's a big difference.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually started doing that with some of the people that had kind of got quiet. And I just did like a kind of a blanket one and said, hey, like with rates down, you're looking at an average monthly savings now or lower monthly payment of about $300 a month, possibly more. Let's take a look at these numbers. Let me know if you have time to chat and we can revisit this to get you in a home in 2024. And so kind of just giving that little bit of information, because it's giving them hope, because if they didn't buy, it's because they were so discouraged on the number. So it gives them something like, okay, now like they feel less defeated. They're like, finally, something is going to help me. And like the world isn't against me to buy a house.
That's why I say focus on the people that are active on your Real Scout, because those people, they're still thinking about purchasing a home. They're looking like, oh my God, but we can't, but let's still look. And then here you are as a beacon of hope. Beacon of hope. I love that, Christina. Let's go, Stephanie, and then we'll start to wrap on the conversation.
Yeah, just to add to what was saying earlier about getting pushback. When I'm doing my buyer consult, because we talk about CPI reports, unemployment reports, but to your average consumer, they're not familiar with that, right? It doesn't really make very much sense to them. So I always tell them, look, the housing market, it's going to be a lot like COVID. Remember during COVID, the price of everything went up, right? Supply and demand. We didn't have enough of everything. So everything got more expensive. Same thing's going to happen with the houses. We don't have enough housing. So the home prices are going to go up. And that's why right now it's a really good time to get in, just see where you're at. See if it's something you're comfortable with. With the rates coming down, it's now more affordable. And a lot of times that ends in a credit pull and a pre-approval.
Totally, because and I love this because if their payment has gone down, let's say 200, 300, and they still can qualify for a rate buy down and be able to get some credits to bring that down even further. Now it's like, wow, could I get that at 450? Could I get that at $500 savings a month than what I was at 3 months ago? And so this is the time where we become scientists and we figure out the solution and figure out the formula, but it's going to take you guys really, really auditing and be like, all right, this person just got pre-approved or they got pre-approved 2 months ago. Things have changed. Let me audit my list. Let me go through that and we have some really, really intelligent conversations with these people based on where we're at right now. I think that's a great way to prospect. It's a great way to prospect. I think that you guys will get a little bit further versus just saying, hey, rates drop. No, let's put some numbers attached to it. Let's give them some realities. Let's showcase some options for them to at least get them back into the, you know what? That's a really good point, Jessica. I like that conversation and that really makes us think about things a lot differently. So good stuff, you guys. I really appreciate all of your sentiment. So let's go back to the top of our conversation. So a few questions if you came on a little bit late. What did you learn about yourself in 2023? What would you do differently? What is your word for 2024? And you're either sitting there in regret or you're super proud of your accomplishments. And then how bad do you truly want your success in 2024? And if you really want it, how are people going to know that? How's your family going to know that? Are you going to be out there and over create the amount of content that you create in 2023? Are you going to be more visible than you've ever been? Are you going to attend more events? You're going to go to more conferences? You're going to shake more hands? You're going to open more doors? You're going to do more open house? You're going to knock on more doors? What's that going to look like for you guys in 2024? I'm going to have the best year I've ever had. And I want each of you to have the best year that you guys have ever had. So let's go around the room really quick. I want to get a couple of key takeaways from some people. And hey, you guys, I want to encourage you as we go into 2024, if you're going to be here, put your camera on. There's people speaking. There's people here. There are people at the gym. Like, be here, be present, put your cameras on. Don't have this on as the background. But let's go around the room. Let's hear from a couple of people. We'll hear from Demian, key takeaways from our time together, Big Dog. I'll go to Gabby next, and I'll go to Jay Singh. Demian, let's hear from you. Key takeaways from our time together today.
Key takeaway is just to keep plugging away, keep educating our clients and being that advocate. You know, we don't want to be simply door openers. We want to be the professional, we just want to know everything that they don't know and present that to them so that we have the value. Just keep educating your clients, keep sticking in there because the work will work.
I love it, my man. Good to see you. Let's go, Gabby. Edith Lopez, let's hear from you. Key takeaways from our time together today. Gabby going once, Gabby going twice. All right, cool. I'll come back to Gabby. Let's go, Carlos Sandoval.
I'm coming.
Okay,
I'm here.
hi.
Sorry, I was on a call. Keep takeaways from today. Good morning, everyone. Let's just, give everything to this 2024. And we don't even have to wait for 2024. I think we can do this today, tomorrow, any day. So let's just get it.
The new year already started weeks ago. So I appreciate that. Have a good workout. I appreciate you being on. Let's go, Carlos Sandoval. Carlos Sandoval, key takeaways from our time together today.
Just clarity and consistency, And I love what Demian said, that work till it works. Just got to keep working till it works. Be clear on what you're working on and just stay consistent.
I love it, my man. Let's go over to Ashley. Ashley, key takeaways from our time together today, and then we'll end with Michael Swanson since we opened up with Michael Swanson. Let's go, Ashley.
Make this year the best year ever. Start today and show up as your authentic self, because that's all you can do. Just give it your all. It's my key takeaway for today.
You're absolutely right, you guys. That's yours. That's yours to own, right? Like the thought of, well, 2023 wasn't my best year. There's people on the team right now. The first year in business sold 20 homes. Sold 20 homes their first year in business. They're no different than you. They're no different than anybody on this call that has chose to show up. Let's go, Michael Swanson, and then I'll go to Zachary to end the call. Michael Swanson, key takeaways from our time together today.
Man, just be great. Like I tell my son every day, drop him off at school, man, be great. Make today a great day. And so make 2024 a great year. Whatever happened in 2023 that you didn't, that you didn't like, that you didn't think you put your all into, put it behind you and let's grind. We're all here for a reason. We're all in this meeting for a reason. We got a great team, a great group of people. So let's grind it, man. Let's get it 2024.
And be great. What a great reminder. And it's like sometimes telling my son the messages that I'm like, wait a minute, let me remind myself of that too. So that's really powerful stuff, Michael. Let's go, Zachary. Let's have you be the last person. Key takeaways from our time together today, big dog.
No victim mentality. Keep it moving for 2024. But thank you, Elias, for everything this year, man. You've been great showing up day in and day out. So thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Listen, man, I appreciate that. And listen, we can't play this victim. Oh, the market. Oh, this. Oh, my knee. Oh, my foot. Oh, my leg. Oh, this. My family. No. Every single one of us has an opportunity to create the life that they want for ourselves. Like that is within us. Like hell or high water, I'm going to succeed. Even if a month it took me, 2 months it took me, 6 months it took me, you guys, I'm still going to succeed no matter what, because I believe in it so much. I believe in it. I could see it. I could see my kids. I could see Larissa. We're helping her buy her first house. Like all these things, you guys, it's clear. So you guys, if you're not clear on your plans, if you don't have your action plans written out, if you don't have your goals written out, if you don't have something that is in your face every single day, you guys get to writing, get to doing the work. You got a couple days left. What are you waiting for? You guys, I'll always be here to support you, but I'm also always going to be here to push you. Listen, Friday, tap in. We got Ophelia, we got Vernon, we got Blessing, and we got Samandy going to deliver a presentation that is going to knock your socks off. I want you guys to invite some guests to that session. It's going to be a great way to close out the year. So you guys, I'll see you on Friday. And as always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision. Have an amazing, amazing day. Peace.
Thanks, Elias.
Thank you.